put myself right in there. We want to create, it is so big and it affects you so much. So you buy a BMW X5. So now you're going to be in the class of the big boys. You need to have your local mechanic's phone number on speed dial. You know, and I know that your salary has increased in the last 1 year or 2 years by about 3%. You know, the salary that you get from the work that you do. Yet, there seems to be no tangible amount of money that you have saved from the salary increase. Have you ever asked yourself the questions as to why you feel, I'm earning more, but it seems like I'm not able to save, I'm not able to invest, I'm not able to put money aside to do 1 or 2, 3 things? That is what you want to talk about today. So, what you're experiencing is known as lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. It is one of the emerging but most subtle, as in it is not known, it's not even talked about, but it is so big and it affects you so much, so silently, that you have never thought about it, yet it shows up. And what the result of this is what is called the wealth stagnation trap. So you're getting into this trap where you want to create wealth, or we want to create wealth. I put myself right in there. We want to create wealth, but the net worth is not increasing. So we find ourselves in this trap. So this lifestyle inflation is not driven by necessity, but rather by behavioral adjustments. So you get into the office and your supervisor, your manager tells you that the company has decided to increase your salary. Or you're called by HR and they tell you their company has decided to increase your salary. So your salary increases by 3%, 4%, depending on the amount, 10%. Then you are so excited about it that you fail to realize that this is the opportunity to invest the salary increment. So as income increases, spending increases. So you start to see, oh, no, I have £100 more, so I can spend a little bit more. This is the behavioral adjustment that you're talking about. So now you start thinking, and this is justified. I work so hard, I've gotten an increase. Now it's time for me to upgrade the house which I've been living in. I move from this household to a bigger house, to a better neighborhood, and all that. Then you start thinking about, I need to increase my conveniences. So you're there. Now you do deliveries. You never go to the market. You do deliveries now. Then you increase your subscriptions. Your subscriptions were down. Now you want to increase them. Now you have money to do, organic farming subscriptions. They bring to you a box of organic foods when you used to buy from Tesco. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then now, because of that salary increment, you want a better car. You want to finance a better car. You want to go on holidays because there's some extra amount to spend. You want to expand your comfort expenses because of all this. You want to be more comfortable. So you want to buy a new couch seat, kitty. You want to buy one. You want to now move from a Nissan Note to a Mercedes Benz, to which is the most expensive one right now for a person who is working, because if you're working there is a threshold which you can't go above. So I'm just trying to think which is the best vehicle which people who are working drive. Mercedes Benz? Nobody drives a Chrysler if you're working. If you're employed, Wongo, you don't. So you buy a BMW X5. So now you're going to be in the class of the big boys. So you buy that one, on subscription. No, it's not called subscription. On financing. So you pay a certain amount of money every month. That is what you bought because your salary has increased. And you know what BMWs come with? The expenses and the timing belt issues. You actually need to have your local mechanic's phone number on speed dial if you own a BMW. That's a story for another day. But anyway, let's go back to here. So if you look at the UK, for example, what is the economic backdrop? 2026 reality. Check. What is happening? Let's look at the recent data from the Office of National Statistics. that confirm a fragile but improving environment. For example, inflation, the CPI, yeah, you know what CPI means? Consumer Price Index, has reduced to 3% as of early 2026. So inflation is down. Kidogo. Then the national wage growth has gone to 3.8%. So there's an increase in the national wage growth. So now, if there's an increase in your salary to something 3.8, probably, if you are lucky, you've gotten the increase. And then, if you take what the national wage growth has been minus the inflation, it gives you the real wage growth. So, for example, if it is 3.8, the national increase, or what you got as the increase, take whatever you got, the percentage you got of increase for the salary, then minus the CPI, the consumer price index, inflation. Yeah, the inflation, that inflation. Minus that, then it will give you the real increase that you got on your salary. That's called the real wage growth. So, for example, in this case, it's just 0.4%. So, for example, let's just say the weekly average earnings have gone up to about £690, just as an example. At the same time, the average household spending goes up to 623 per week. So housing, fuel, and power is about 18% of the total spend, and transport is about 14%. So that's what's happening right now in the UK as an example. So average household spending about £623 per week, and housing, fuel is 18% of that spend, and then transport about 14%, and then the others, which you can think about. Now here comes the shocker. There is something called the recovery spending effect. Because you remember, between the year 2022 and 2024, households were naturally not doing anything extra out of their mandatory spending. They were not going out, they were not eating out, they were not traveling because of the inflation. But now we have entered the recovery period right now, 2025, 2026. So now families and households feel, and you feel, the comfort in spending, in dining out. Now you take your family out more often, in traveling and having short breaks here and there. Now you can travel to Spain, you can travel to Italy, you can travel to Kenya, you can travel to South Africa. And then now you are comfortable to take on the premium subscriptions. You are on the basic, whatever it is that you have subscribed, you are on the basic. And then now you are comfortable with taking premium subscriptions now, comfort, the one you talked about up there. And then you feel the need to have a lifestyle upgrade because there's some more money. You are in recovery mode. So now what you are missing, you want to use now. You want to achieve or to do now. Well, the truth is, this is not reckless. No, it is just psychological. The problem is, it delays your financial rebuilding. And that is driver number one of the lifestyle inflation. Now, let's look at driver number two, mortgage reset pressure. For those of you who have mortgage, who have taken mortgage, the ones who, they are almost there, but not yet there, but they have a mortgage, they have their own house. So according to the UK Finance, and I'm going to check this, it says that about 1.6 mortgages were reset in 2025. And it is expected that in 2026, about 1.8 million is expected to reset in 2026. Let me show you the impact of that reset. Typically, the mortgages were at 2%, thereabout. So, sorry, if you are paying, let me put it this way, if you are paying a mortgage of £200,000 at 2%, the monthly amount that you are paying was around £848 per month. But if there is a reset, and now mortgage, costs go up, the interest rate goes up to 5%, that goes up to £1,169 per month. An increase of about £300 per month. So if you had allowed the lifestyle costs to increase beforehand, to expand beforehand, and then this mortgage reset comes in, imagine the dent that will happen to your pocket. That's number two. Number three is what is called the digital or frictionless spending. So the rise of seamless consumption is accelerating lifestyle inflation. You think about it. Buy now, pay later, BNPL. usage, it is actually said that 1 in every 5 UK adults, they are into this kind of a system or this kind of a program where they buy now, pay later. Yeah. And the age that is most affected is between 25 and 34. The guys who are just making it in life. They are about 30% use these programs. Now, these programs are used for lifestyle purchases, treat spending. You want to treat your friend, you go to treat them, and then you're spending, that kind of amount you will pay later in your credit card. And then fashion and beauty. You want to look very beautiful, so you want to buy a dress that you don't even have the money for, but you want to pay it slowly. So there are platforms that have come up that are enabling you to be more consumer oriented. So you want to consume more and more and more without you realizing psychologically how you are spending. So psychologically you're not thinking you're spending, but you're spending a lot. So those are 3 effects, or those are 3 drivers of lifestyle inflation in the UK, as an example. This video is basically for people abroad and the ones in the UK. You can transport this to the US and it will just be the same kind of effect. But here comes now the real risk. Now, contrary to popular belief, the bigger danger is not immediate financial collapse. You will not feel it immediately, but it's the long-term stagnation. So every extra £100 that you use on things that you are not using before, that is opportunity cost lost. So that money is not invested, that money is going into something that you never recover. And data shows that UK households are saving between about 9.9%, about 10% of their income. But at the same time, about 10% of adults in the UK, including you, a Kenyan or an African, have no savings. And about 21% have less than £1,000 in saving. You know what that means? Calculate the number of people that you know. 10% of them have no saving. So if you know 100 people in the UK, 10 do not have any savings. And 21% of them have savings that are less than £1,000. Yeah? So, and then there is another statistic that says about 24% show low financial resilience. Do you know what financial resilience means? Financial resilience is the ability to survive when things become hard financially. So that illusion of more money coming in is what creates whatever you are going through, or whatever you'll be going through. So households may appear stable but remain financially fragile. You are one pay slip away from asking money to go back home or asking the government to assist you. So that's crazy, yeah? So now let's look at something else. Let's look at the mechanics of wealth erosion. What are the mechanics of wealth erosion? Number 1 is that wealth is not lost in large decisions, it leaks through. What do we mean by this? It is not the large financial decisions that you make that will make you lose wealth or make you not grow wealth the way you're supposed to. It is in the small things like subscriptions, finance agreements. First and foremost, these finance agreements, you need to read the tiny little terms and conditions, the ones that are not very obvious, because they will give you like something like free subscription for 7 days, but when you subscribe, after 30 days, £30 goes away or something like that, some a certain amount of money, and before you realize it, £300 have gone or 200, and you're not using the service anymore. So those financial agreements, very crucial. And then there is number 3, the incremental lifestyle upgrades. So these become fixed monthly obligations without you knowing. So if you upgrade to a new car, more fuel, it uses more fuel. It requires better handling in terms of servicing the vehicle. It's more expensive to service. So this becomes monthly obligations. So you go to a bigger house, monthly obligations. You get to bigger subscriptions of TVs and all that, monthly subscriptions. So what that means is that there is a lot that you lose by doing that upgrade just because you got a salary increase. So this small increase in subscriptions and all those other lifestyle changes that you're making, over time they compound. If you had saved that £100 and you put it in money market or you put it in ISA, ISA, it would have already started earning you. But because you're using it for like any consumptions, then the consumption also compoundingly makes it lose value, opportunity cost. So the real issue here is not overspending, it's the failure to convert the rising income into assets. So lifestyle is recovery, or sorry, lifestyle inflation is not destroying wealth instantly, it is preventing wealth from forming. So how do we get out of this trap? How do we get out of this trap? Number one, automate wealth fast. Make sure you have automated wealth creation mechanisms fast on your salary or on your income if you're in business, for example. Make sure you don't touch that. That money comes in and goes into whatever investment it is going to. Number two, maintain spending discipline. Apply structured rules as an example of like 50% the needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. You've had this before, but apply them now. Then number three, build financial resilience. Follow guidance from money helpers. You can target 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. We talked about this before. Number four, introduce friction into spending. You know what that means? Yeah. Remove saved cards on the internet. Limit the buy now, pay later usage, and audit subscriptions annually. I mean, if you don't watch TV, why are you paying for subscription for TV? For BBC, as an example. If you don't watch, why? Why are you paying subscription for internet if the only time you're at home is just the weekend? You can just decide not to pay that subscription and do something else. Think about it. Then number five, prioritize asset growth. Yeah? So use available tools, for example, ISA, ESAs, and then pensions, and money market. You can do that. If you are in shares, if you like doing share stocks, you can do that as well. And number six, always audit yourself. Audit how you're spending your money. Audit whether whatever you're spending your money into is actually something that is bringing wealth, is compounding wealth or not. Because you never notice when it starts, but you will feel it when the wealth fails to grow. You will feel the impact. So, as your salary is increasing, as inflation is coming down or going up, depending on whichever circumstances we are living in, please audit yourself and take care. Do not see that easiness of lower inflation as something to warrant you now to start spending what you were not spending before. It calls for discipline, and discipline is not easy. But if you are disciplined enough, you will see your wealth grow over and over again. Otherwise, that's it for today. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and hit the like button and share this video to many other people. It may be of help. Or if this information is something that you consider beneficial to you and your friends and your family, please share. Number two, if you'd like to read about this and much more, go on to what we call the Golden Tie Africa. Golden Tie Africa. So you can go to https goldentieafrica.com or goldentieafrica.com, and there are many articles that you can read there that are beneficial to your financial health, and very many other things that are out there. Go there and read, leave a comment. Even right now, leave a comment right here, and let's start talking. Let's just talk about this thing called money. Yeah. And if you are looking for someone to talk to about money, I'm always available. We can always discuss it. Thank you. God bless you. See you next time. Bye-bye.